Shalom Aleichem. My name is Rabbi Adam Dubin, and I work at the RCA office here in Manhattan, as well as I'm the Rav of Kesser Shem Tov in Passaic, New Jersey. I wanted to mention before I begin that if you're interested in making a video for the weekly email, then please be in touch with Rabbi Reuven Tradbergs, the RCA Israel representative. Also coordinates the videos every week. So if you want to be in touch with him at rtradbergs@gmail.com, that would be helpful for us here in the office. Somebody once asked me, not so long ago actually, what the Torah stance is on cursing, using curse words. He said to me, I've heard that our bodies are like a temple, and that defaming Hashem's name is very bad. But what about using a curse word here and there? After all, I learned when I was in school that really the words we think of as curse words are just another language that were taken from England, and when the British took over, whatever year that was, that's what they made the words into curse words. But really, it's just another language. What's wrong with it? What's the problem? I responded, think of somebody who's wise, kind, a caring person. The type of man or woman who you deeply respect and look up to as a role model. I'm not talking about a sports player. I'm not talking about an actor or an actress, although there may be reasons to look up to these people as well. I'm not speaking about that, but someone who really you look up to as a role model for yourself, who you think you could want to emulate. Could you imagine such a person spewing out filthy language in a sudden moment of rage? Maybe, but I would suggest probably not. And for good reason. It's just not the holy thing to do. At the beginning of this week's Parshat Kedoshim, we have the enigmatic introduction. Kedoshim Tihiyu, be holy. Now this is different from the many other mitzvahs that follow, which pertain to specific matters such as Taras Mishpacha and etc. Chazal say in the Sifra that the Hebrew word Kadosh, which we normally translate into English as being holy, is actually more like being distinct or separate. So these words are actually a commandment, if you will, to separate ourselves. Separate from what? Well, for one, from a vulgar language. To paraphrase the Ramban, when the Torah forbids various behaviors and foods, at the same time, it does permit intimacy between a husband and a wife, and the consumption of kosher meat and wine. So there can be someone who is a glutton, who eats only kosher food, and a drunkard who drinks only kosher wine, and a married man who acts with the behavior that is lewd with his wife, even though she's permissible to him. Or there may be a person who speaks in a disgusting manner, something that's not directly prohibited by the Torah. So it's possible for a person to actually be, in the classic words of the Ramban, disgusting with the permission of the Torah. In other words, the Torah itself demands that you go beyond your parameters that it sets out for you and live a life that's truly distinguished and uplifted. The Torah teaches us that to be holy, it's not enough to just do this and don't do that. There's something you have to do on your own. There's something more. To go beyond the letter of the law, following instructions, at least a little bit. The truth is that using bad language does more than just keep you from being one step above. It actually knocks you down. The Gemara Maseches Ksubos speaks very harshly about someone who speaks in a vulgar way. Although we generally think of speech as just a superficial act, in truth, it has a strong impact on your inner self. The words that leave your mouth can have an imprint on your mind and on your heart. No matter how high up you are in the rope of a fine, noble character, a few rotten words can throw you back down to the ground. The flip side, of course, is also true. A crude person can become more refined if he or she improves the way that he or she speaks. This is why Shmiras Halashon is considered one of the first steps that needs to be taken before correcting the more serious flaws in character. So is a choice after stubbing your toe, a choice word after stubbing your toe, such a horrible thing? Maybe not. But being careful that all words that leave your mouth are holy is an important way of living the kadosh life of a Torah Jew. Now, reflecting back, again, the fact that we consider words to be vulgar words in the English language, at least, as this congregant of mine had said, he learned in school because of one country taking over another and the language being relegated to curse words. So really, is that vulgar, and how does that play into our lives? This, I would suggest, that context makes a difference. Even if there's nothing intrinsically wrong with a specific word, the fact that we live in a society where words have meaning and they can be, they have a negative connotation, even if there was nothing wrong with it hundreds of years ago. It's still better to refrain from doing so, as much as possible at least. By watching what we say, by guarding our tongues, by separating ourselves from doing things that maybe are permissible but are not what we should be doing, we help to usher in a more kadosh life, not only for ourselves, for our families, for our communities, but really for the world at large. And by doing so, Amir Hashem, we will speedily see the time when we are all reunited in Eretz Yisrael with the Beis Hamikdash Shlishi, Mihir V'Yameinu. I take this opportunity as well to mention, given the time of year that it is, with Yom HaZikaron and Yom HaAtzmaut coming, that it's a time when we, as not only as Torah Jews, but as those who love and support not Eretz Yisrael, Medinas Yisrael, to really take this as an impetus for going the extra mile, taking the extra step, try a little bit harder. Once again, by doing so, hopefully we will see the ultimate Geula Shlema b'mehera v'yameinu. Amen. Have a good Shabbos.